Hello and welcome to the Crypto Jungle. My name is Baloo, and here on the channel I teach you how to trade and invest in cryptocurrencies. If you're tired of the YouTubers telling you to buy literally everything, then you've come to the right place. This is no hype, no bullcrap channel. We look at the charts, we're very neutral in our analysis, and we're not moon boys. We're just going to give you the facts straight. So the market is in potential recovery mode. We're trying to find signs of support. We're trying to find signs of strength. We're trying to develop a thesis that will allow the price candles to develop in a neutral state where we can try and feel a little bit more comfortable that there may or may not be some downside. So we're going to take a look at Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the total market cap. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin dominance and a couple altcoins just for fun, although really your focus should be on Bitcoin at this moment. So how's everybody feeling? Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Are we heading down to lower levels? Have we found support? Are we going to head up from here? Are we going to get a V-shaped recovery? Let me know what you guys are thinking currently. And without any further ado, let me go ahead and take a look at the king of all cryptocurrency, and that is Bitcoin. Taking a look at Bitcoin on the daily. So we kind of wicked well below our point and figure target of around 41,000 to 36,000. We are back inside of that range right now. So I feel a lot of the fear is beginning to stabilize. I feel that the price is beginning to stabilize. We can kind of get hints to that if we go down to the lower time frames. Still trending to the downside. Cautiously optimistic, very appropriate. We are trending to the downside, lower lows, lower highs throughout. We're looking for that higher low. If we can get a higher low in the short term, I think that we can probably, prove the point that there's a potential for some upside action here. So if we take a look at the RSI, there is some divergence building on the 4-hour. If we go back to the daily, you can see a little bit of a divergence forming. You have your low and your lower low. You've got your low and your higher low. This is happening in the oversold condition. When you have a bullish divergence in the oversold condition, it's at least showing that we're trying to find support here. So I'm happy to be a buyer at these levels. Everybody has their own risk tolerance. Everybody has their own thesis and strategy inside of this market. My targets were around this area. I stepped in as a buyer, and I'm going to maintain that position. I'm not selling out of any of those positions that I purchased at these levels. If we dip lower, I'll be a buyer again, because it's all about the long-term vision with Bitcoin. For me anyways, it's the altcoins, very, very different scenario. But as far as Bitcoin is concerned, I'm a lot less worried about the success and future of what's going on with Bitcoin. But let's talk some targets if we were to break down. Now, whenever you're looking at a chart, you want to look at the areas of the breakouts, because the areas of the breakout are showing you the resistance points. So you can see here we had a little bit of a consolidation. We got our breakout. Let's make note of that level. So I'm just going to grab a horizontal ray here. I'm going to go ahead and make note of that level. We got a breakout at that level at around 19.5. Let's make it yellow. And we got another one up here right at around 24.2. Very low levels. And then our last little breakout area was back here at around 29.5. So there are lower levels, but I really think that this flush was needed. If we take a look at some of the other indicators inside of the market that can kind of show you a little bit of strength. This is crowntrading.net. Shout out to Crown's Crypto Cave, dope YouTuber. You should go and check him out, because he's another kind of no bull crap kind of guy. We're at a lot of fear. The open interest has really plummeted. There's not a lot of leverage. We've flushed the leverage out of the system. The leverage is really what contributes to these catastrophic downside events to begin with. So because of the lack of leverage, I think at least in the short term, we're safe. Funding flipped negative. People are very scared. The old adage, when be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. It time and time again proves to be true, which is why I am happy to be a buyer at these levels. Fear and greed index is at around 12. It's just It is what it is. It's, again, people are very scared. Total market cap taking a bit of a breather. We'll go ahead and take a look at the charts, on TradingView. Open interest, look at this. Look at this. We flushed out the open interest. We flushed out the leverage. We are in a much better position because everybody going forward is probably a spot buyer. Bitcoin dominance is beginning to trend up. There's a lot of things that are showing sanity re-entering the market. If we go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin dominance, we've got this area of interest for me, which is right at around 52 to 55% Bitcoin. So we're bouncing off of a floor here. As long as this continues to trend to the upside, the altcoins are going to be a dicey place to be. Now, a lot of people are not trading altcoins right now. It's kind of, it's risky territory to be dealing with the altcoins when dominance is in an uptrend. We could curl over and get a little bit of an alt recovery, but I'm not front running any bullish idea. I'm just going to interpret what's presented at me as it is presented at me. And currently we are seeing an increase in dominance, which is seeing a lot of bleeding in the altcoins. So not exactly ideal, but hey, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the total market cap. It's all about a market health update right now. Incredible wicks. Just incredible wicks here on the 3-day. Looks like we'll get a pretty solid close on the 3-day candle right at this area of support. If we can get above right around 1.5 trillion, I think that's going to be a pretty solid close. These demand tails on this, there's a lot of people buying. It may not be you, but there's a lot of people buying. I have my own theories as to what kind of contributed to this event, not just the leverage, but I think it was a little bit of a supply test. There may be a lot of institutions who are not yet convinced of the liquidity inside of the crypto market. So, one of the things that these hedge fund managers and maybe even, institutional players like Elon Musk may need to do to prove to the investors that Bitcoin is a good idea, they need to be able to sell. We're talking about whale-sized positions. We're talking about large positions here. The retail trader, we can buy and sell, no problem. It doesn't matter. But when you're a whale, it's not so simple. It's really actually quite difficult, and you want to make sure that you're in a market that is very liquid. So I wouldn't be surprised if, some of these players were trying to convince other participants saying, we're not going to invest in Bitcoin because it's not liquid. We can get into it, but we're never going to be able to get out of it. So you might see these hedge funds being like, okay, well, let's do a liquidity test. We'll do a liquidity test around $50,000. If we can pull out our liquidity and be fine, are you going to be convinced as a buyer, and are you going to, participate as a in this investment? Yeah, if we can get liquidity and it not dump the market at 50K, then we're fine. I think that's what happened. I think the market was flooded with supply as some of these large institutional interests were simply testing the liquidity inside of the market, and it was a successful test. So what happens after a successful test? You go and you tell Elon Musk to cause some controversy to dump the market, and they're all buying back in lower. So manipulation. Wish I found this channel earlier. Well, you're here now, so that's all that matters. Senpai, yeah, Crown is king. Yeah, Crypto Crown is great. Yeah. Newish to crypto and hungry to learn. Is your private group able to help me learn an average? On average, how long does a newbie take to understand the market usually? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. To answer your question about the group, yes, absolutely. That's what we do. We teach you, we give you the tools to learn what it means to be a trader and an investor. But honestly, it takes a full cycle to learn. You need to be, because every part of the market cycle has different conditions, and every condition comes with a different strategy. So trading has changed my life. It has really opened up the world to me. I'm able to travel, go where I want, and there's a lot of benefits for me learning this skill, but I'm not going to tell you that it came easy. It's a mind game, and there are many different circumstances throughout a market cycle there that are going to test your mental strength. So yes, we can help you, but I would also recommend that you start slow. Start slow and know that it takes time to learn. It's a skill that you'll carry for the rest of your life. You know, a crypto market cycle on average is about 4 years. So it's, you know, from the grand scheme of thing, learning a skill in a 4-year period is really not that big of a deal. It's basically like doing a course in college. So look at it that way. Hey Blue, sold a little ETH at the top, which was all luck. Have re-entered, pretty chilled, believe in the future growth, but it has taught me that taking profits is not just to be taken off the table, but to have a cash to re-enter. Yes. Having a cash position is really important, and you know, Jack, we were probably selling at the same time. Both of us were selling ETH near the top, not on purpose, simply by accident, just by having that process of, you know, we're overheated, let's take some profits off of the table. I took about 15% of my Ethereum position off of the table, and I used that to buy back in lower at a 100% discount. You know, the price got cut in half. So kudos. We both seem to have made a good trade there. You know, we both kind of got in around 2K level, I believe. So yeah, right on. You know, taking profits. Nobody ever goes broke taking profits. Having that cash position is really important when you're in these markets. Looks like a trading zone. Bought it 32 and 33. Well done. I think I can't predict, but I think that those are going to be good levels. You know, we're showing a lot of support at the current levels at around 36,000. We're gonna have to see how it plays out. Here's the thing, you know, we're in a lower high, lower low structure. Until we can get our first higher low, we can't break that structure. So do we come back down? Do we get a higher low? That's what we're looking for. As soon as we can get that higher low, we're going to begin to repair the trend and at least get it to stabilize. So that's kind of what we're looking for currently. What's going on, Shroomer? Having a great day. You know, all things considered, you know, these markets are tricky sometimes, but if you're able to pivot quickly, then you can be on the right side of the trade. You know, that whole thing about pivoting too, we may as well briefly talk about this. How many altcoins are you holding? Let's get it in the chat. Tell me how many coins you are holding, and while we do that, let's just pull up the ETH BTC chart. ETH BTC is on a nice recovery here on the 3-day. This is a really beautiful chart, guys. I couldn't make this up. You know, we've had this target on this chart. You can go back in my previous videos and check. You know, we had the target at 0.08 BTC per Ethereum. We hit that target and we reversed right back down to my initial target at 0.05 BTC per Ethereum. So, you know, this is fantastic. I think that this wick was a little too quick. And I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down and land on this area, at which I'm going to be a buyer. I'm going to be, you know, transitioning some of the BTC pair into Ethereum, because I think Ethereum is just getting ready for some really nice moves here. Hi Blue, still holding all of my spot positions, average BTC entry of around 20K. Well done. I have some cash on the table. Deploy now or set limits at 32K and 28K. I think you could do all of the above. You could set some stink bids while you're waiting for a little bit more volatility to enter potentially to the downside, but then just wait for the confirmation of the bullish change in the trend, and then you could redeploy, you know, cancel those bids and redeploy. There's no harm in having a bid lower down at those levels, and if it never comes, it never comes. You simply cancel the bid when we look like we're bullish, and you can look for entries on the buy side at higher levels. 10 alts, too many. 25 plus, 357. Holding 9 altcoins. Yeah, so you know, depending on your alt exposure, you've probably noticed how hard it is to pivot. You know, I say, you know, trades are like kids. If you have more than 5, you're in trouble. Not that I have any kids or would be able to make that comparison, but it's a fun little thing to compare it to, because you need to be able to manage these things. You need to be able to manage your stop losses. You need to be able to manage your take profits. You need to, and when the pivot moment comes, it's a matter of minutes. You know, this is why these trade groups, these trade signals groups, they don't work. If you're in a trade signals group, You might be able to get some good information, but you kind of also need to be a good trader to use those. When the pivot comes, it's quickly. I make my decision in a matter of minutes when it comes time to make these decisions. And if you're in 25 altcoins, good luck. You know, it's impossible. It's not going to happen. 5 is kind of a good way to go with that kind of stuff. Michigan Shroomer seeing a few nice setups developing in time to pivot into them pretty soon, hopefully. Yeah, I think we're going to be range bound for a while. You know, I'm not getting too excited. I'm not getting too bullish. I think, you know, if we're kind of looking for a range to develop, we'll probably end up with something like a reaccumulation after decline. You know, the distribution took 4 months. The reaccumulation may take a month. We don't exactly know, but you know, I'm not thinking that we're going to get a V-shaped recovery like a lot of people are speculating that we'll get. We'll probably get something close to what we had back in the DeFi summer boom. You know, back here we had a distributional event right here that did result in the downside, and we got about a month of accumulation before we started to break bullish again. I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like that again. A lot of people are really scared. A lot of people lost a lot of money, and I'm sure a lot of people think that it's all over. So getting that is kind of, you know, getting rid of that stigma takes time. It takes time to develop. Yeah. 3 altcoins here, Link, Cardano, and ETH. That's very good. I think that's a good amount of altcoins to be managing. You know, it's very easy to pivot when you're in those positions, and it affords you the ability to load into heavier set positions. 20th hold, 4 holding, 17 unfortunately, 5 plus ETH. What about BTC? You gotta have some BTC. 20 that I look at daily, and 25 very small positions. Tried to consolidate, but not in time. New tattoo? No, it's an old tattoo. Can't tell you what it means. Illuminati. No new tattoo. Okay, so let's take a look at total 2. So we took a look at total. Total's looking, well, it was looking good a few minutes ago. It's looking okay now. Let's take a look at total 2. Total 2 is also not bad. I would like to see a better close. So the last close we had on the 3-day candle was a solid close because it made a higher low. We do need to get a little bit further up on total 2 to get a nice close. I think if total 2 fails to get a higher low here, we could see some more downside inside of the altcoins. So let's not be surprised on that. If we're on the daily, actually, we already have some candle body closes that are at a lower low. So potentially we head down to about $700 billion and rest there for our next support range inside of the altcoins. So, you know, don't discount the fact that these alts could still bleed in terms of satoshis. If we go back to Bitcoin dominance here, we've got some room to the upside for my target here around 52%. You know, we're at 45%. These moves can translate to quite a lot. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. We could come back down here and test, and that would be pretty good for the altcoins. But I think we're going to continue to rally as more and more people get out of their altcoin positions and flood into Bitcoin. Okay, can you share your joining process again? Yeah, if you guys want more information on the group, you know, we're an educationally focused group. Just go to thecryptojungle.com. There is links down in the description, or you can just type in thecryptojungle.com, and we have 3 different plans. We do have a free plan, so if you are not already signed up on Binance, FTX, or Bybit, and you start 2 new accounts under one of those, whether, you know, FTX or Bybit, you get a free month. So if that is you, then you can get a free month. For those who don't have that ability, then we can offer, oh yeah, I have a half off your first month coupon code WELCOME. So Blue, go to thecryptojungle.com, sign up on the monthly plan, and you can get half off your first month. USDT to the moon. Yeah, let's take a look at Tether dominance. USDT.D. Yeah, still in the overbought condition. Typically when Tether is overbought, it precedes a rally. So if we just overlay the Bitcoin chart here, BTC USD on the Coinbase chart, we get these rallies every time Tether is overbought. I can delete this because we don't actually need the candles on the Tether dominance chart. But yeah, anytime we're overbought, anytime we become overbought on Tether, here, overbought here, overbought here, overbought here, it usually precedes a rally. So sometimes the rallies are small, sometimes they're large, you know, sometimes they're very large, but that's the current condition that we're in right now, is currently overbought Tether. It can certainly go to higher levels. It can be even more overbought than it currently is. And that would clearly be a downside move in Bitcoin, but we're getting close to the end. I suspect, I feel, and be careful with anybody that says feel, because these candles print in real time. Nobody can actually make predictions contrary to what, you know, crypto and the moon may make you think. These just print randomly, so we kind of just interpret the charts as they print in real time, and when we have more data, we'll have more data. But right now we're in a localized downtrend, so trend is your friend until it ends. It is making lower highs and lower lows. As soon as we get a higher low, then we're back to the races. I've got bids here at about 34k. Stream got interrupted again. Everything seems tickety-boo on my end. Not sure what's going on with that. Is everybody else having problems with the stream? I hope not. Did my stream end? Okay, it's YouTube not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. If you guys aren't following me on Twitch, I highly recommend Twitch. You know, Twitch is just a way better platform for live streams. So it's a more stable platform. You should just head over there and follow me on Twitch. You'll get the same notifications, everything like that. Along with that as well is YouTube is notorious for censorship. So if there ever comes a day where my channel is blocked for whatever reason, you know, crypto YouTubers are often at the forefront of censorship. If ever that is to happen, it is less likely to happen on both platforms at the same time. And it's not typical that Twitch censors its streamers. So Twitch is the better place to go for streaming. Drop YouTube so Twitch gets the signal. Everybody's on YouTube, man. And yes, I am in Mexico, so you know, we'll see how the anyways, let's go into some of these other charts. So we did talk about Ethereum BTC looking good, nice test right at the 0.05 BTC per Ethereum. I think we might come back down and test the liquidity, but we'll see how that progresses. Let's take a look at Cardano. A lot of Cardano fans out there. Let's take a look at Cardano on the daily. So macro picture, you know, Cardano's battling with an all-time high, and it's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing that's going on here. So realize that, you know, these are very difficult levels to overtake, and they're very risky positions to open new. If you are looking to, you know, if you're looking for brand new positions inside of Cardano, I would wait for some nice solid weekly closes above the all-time high, which I don't think we have yet. Let me see here. Yeah, we're currently below. You know, we did get 1 or 2 weeks above, so that was kind of good. But then, you know, Bitcoin kind of spoiled the party. We're a little bit too exuberant. But yeah, we're battling with this all-time high area. It's tricky, sitting on top of an area of support currently, but it's not clear. So please proceed with caution if you are just taking new positions inside of Cardano, because the downside targets of this are actually quite severe. Please, do your own research, control your risk accordingly. But the next real kind of support level on Cardano is down here at around 38 cents. Wow, 40 cents. Really kind of brutal. So if this level breaks, it's going to be brutal down to about 40 cents. So that's quite a retracement. So please proceed with caution. I'm not saying we're going there. I'm just saying that there's a large downside potential. So if you're holding Cardano, there's no reason to be selling it. I'm not seeing anything that would tell me to sell Cardano. But as far as new positions in altcoins in general, just be careful, guys. It's about Bitcoin right now. If you don't own any Bitcoin, I think we're in a time for you to begin accumulating Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is separate from altcoins. It's its own thing. And if you have no exposure to it, it's kind of silly, in my opinion. If you don't believe in the success of Bitcoin, you don't believe in the success of your altcoin. So not gaining exposure to Bitcoin is kind of silly to me, because yes, it doesn't appreciate in value as much, but it does hold its value in Satoshis. And it's the only project that's really battle tested. I would argue that Ethereum is kind of battle tested, but they're moving over to proof of stake, so they're kind of starting over from square one. The only battle tested crypto is Bitcoin, so you should have some, in my opinion. Not financial advice, of course, just because we're obligated to say that. But yeah, a lot of people found themselves on the wrong side of the trade with this one, especially with the alts losing value a lot against the Bitcoin pair. So Bitcoin was stabilized, but the altcoins kept dumping. So, limit your risk, hedge your bets. That's pretty much it on Cardano. Let's take a look at fucking Dogecoin. I try to be really unbiased. I try to offer a neutral opinion, and I look at the charts from a technical point of view. Doge is in a downtrend. It's in a very strong downtrend. I don't agree with the project at all. I think that Elon Musk is a troll, and I have no idea why he's latched on to this project. It's a piece of shit, but if you are one of those people that wants to trade it, what you're looking for is a break of the downsloping resistance. There it is. Keep it simple. As long as we are below this line, we are bearish. Until you get above this line, we are bearish. So this is going to grind down, lower highs, lower lows, until it's done. The trend is your friend. So expect more downside just because of the trend, just because of the downtrend. Expect more downside. But if we break through this trend line, then we could be changing over. I know that people are going to buy Doge, so I just want to offer my opinion and my analysis on it. You're never going to catch me buying Doge, but I am here to kind of help people make better decisions. And if you are going to be a participant in Doge, wait for the trend to change. And right now, it's a pretty severe downtrend. So carry on with caution. Will we go back up? Yeah. I mean, it depends on your time parameter. Got into Doge at 24 cents and out at 50 cents. Well done. Well done. Yeah, there's no denying there's hype in that project, and hype drives demand. Take a quick look at SXP or Shaw. I mean, most of the alts are in a pretty dire straits right now. If you're an SXP holder, maybe you're just looking for some reprieve and you're looking for somebody to tell you that everything's going to be fine. And that's probably not me, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not going to tell you everything's fine in SXP. It's really breaking down, man, like big time. This is not something you want to trade. From the last point of which we thought we were bullish here, we're down 68%. Yeah, it's brutal. We're down below the area of the breakout. We've got targets down here now, right back to where we started this whole trend. Pretty brutal. pretty brutal. You know, altcoins are in no condition right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we're back down to $1. So don't take that as financial advice. I don't know if you're an SXP holder or what your current stance is, or if you're looking to take positions. If you're looking for new positions in altcoins, you're doing it wrong, in my opinion. Really, you got to focus on Bitcoin right now. It's all about Bitcoin. You know, you think that you can't make money in Bitcoin, but you know what? You absolutely can't make money in altcoins right now. So you got to adjust with the market. You need to listen to the market. You need to understand that the only money that's going to be going into an asset right now, it's going to be going into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin is going to start to move up. And then as it starts to move up, it's going to give permission to your altcoin to pump. Until that happens, your altcoin is in dire straits. Which is better, YFI or BTC? Yeah, I'll tell you exactly how to find out which coin is the best. You go to CoinGecko and you refresh, and the best coin to buy is always at the top, because this is the market. You have to listen to the market. You're not, you know, don't try and be clever. Don't try and be cheeky. Bitcoin is the best project. YFI isn't even close. Not even fucking close. It's a no-brainer. The market is going to tell you where the value is, and the market has made it very clear that the most valuable project in this ecosystem is Bitcoin. Don't overcomplicate it. If you want to talk value, that's your value. Market cap is value. It's Bitcoin. Take a look at Solana. Again, you're not going to like what I have to hear. So if you're asking me to give you a bullish setup on Solana, then maybe turn me off, because yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly. What about this chart looks nice? You know, the recovery is going to take time. The recovery is going to take time. We have daily candles closing below the last area of support. We have wicks going below the last area of support. We're in a very severe downtrend. You know, Bitcoin is bad enough, and Bitcoin's doing its best to repair, but at least Bitcoin made a higher low. A lot of these altcoins did not make a higher low. They made a lower low. That's a very different scenario. That's one that's very hard to recover from. Bitcoin at least has a fighting chance. If we break down here, I think we're in a bear market, and it's going to take several months. And I only mean a technical bear market. I don't mean a multi-year bear market. I just mean that we are in a technical bear market that will take months to repair. This is our last chance to kind of get away with this kind of clean. I still think it's going to take some time to repair. But as far as the altcoins, guys, it's not the time. It's not the time for altcoins. It really isn't. Got YFI yesterday at 27K. Now it's at 43. YFI, I made more money. Yeah, you got to bounce. But I mean, we're going to do our swing down now, and it'll, you know. You asked me what it is, if it's a better project than Bitcoin, and the answer is no. Okay, yeah, dumps always seem to occur when I have too many alts. Probably reflects my overexuberance and confidence marking the top. Will we be going back up? Yes. Got it. Okay. Started in crypto a few weeks ago. Keep losing 2K, but keep holding. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you joined at the peak, so of course you're experiencing the downside. And you know what? That is the best. That's the best entry, in my opinion, from a wake-up call point of view. What happens to a lot of people going forward? Like, if we start to go up from here and the bull market continues, I don't think there's going to be a shakeout like this again. Not until the top comes in. So anybody that joins after, they're never going to experience the pain of a drawdown. So their drawdown will be the bull market peak. It will be the end of the bull market, and they'll continue to hold into the bear market thinking, I can't sell, it's gone down too much. I can't sell, it's gone down too much. And they'll hold it all the way to zero. They'll hold it all the way to damn near nothing. So I think if you're joining now and this market is to continue, it's probably a good thing, because it kind of slapped a little bit of sense into you and made you realize that this is volatile. And yeah, it's volatile up, but it's also volatile down. So you have to lock in some of the profits. Have goals for your life so that you can, make your life better. And when you have an opportunity to achieve those goals, realize them, take some profits. Not saying sell everything. I believe in this stuff long term, but you want to kind of realize some gains as we continue here. After a 60% dump in alts, if they pump a bit, at what level to cash out losses or hold down long term? Well, again, it's really based on what's going on with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin rallies into a higher low and curls over into a lower low, then we're in a technical bear market. We may get an opportunity where Bitcoin goes up. Like, let's say we go to the underside of this channel here. Let's say we rally from here and we curl over under, and then we head to a lower low. If this happens, we're in a bear market. We're in a technical bear market. So if we get up to $46,000 and curl over here, you don't even need to chart your altcoins right now. You really don't. You just chart Bitcoin. When Bitcoin looks bearish, get out of your alts. When Bitcoin looks bullish, you can try and trade your alts. But if you're looking for a graceful exit, if we get to this level and it looks like we're curling over to the downside, that would be your graceful exit to close out a lot of the altcoin positions. But trying to close them down here, I don't know. It's a swing low. I'm kind of advising against that, but it is what it is. If you bought thematic dip, you're laughing today. Yeah, there's going to be winners and losers for sure. So it's going to be the next wave of BTC profits, then pumping alts again whenever that happens. Eventually, that's usually how it happens. You get a large shakeout event. The shakeout event pretty much pauses all exuberance and pauses all demand. Bitcoin just has a ton of demand on the sidelines. People are, more savvy in the space. They're going to be buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin begins to move up. Bitcoin's price action going to the upside creates confidence in the market overall. That confidence will trickle down into other coins, and that will be paired up with what you see in the Bitcoin dominance chart. So we'll probably keep going up in Bitcoin dominance up to around 52%, and then we may curl back down as that confidence re-enters. What do you think of DCA strategy? Using bots to accumulate BTC here for the next few months. I think DCA is kind of, it goes back to your time parameters and how much you're putting in. So if you're doing really small amounts and you're doing it weekly, say, you could probably DCA. Using bots, you can DCA with Coinbase, so I don't know where the bot comes in. But you can, it's a strategy, but we're in a bull market. So, you don't want to be DCAing up into the very top. I don't know. DCA is usually really good when you've reached a bottom of the bear market. You begin to DCA and you can DCA all the way to the top, but initiating a new DCA plan right now in the potential middle of the bull market or the potential end of the bull market, I don't think is a good idea. Yeah, it's not something that I would do. I stopped DCAing when we got to about 40K personally, but I was doing it all through 2018, 2019. It's a great strategy when we're flat. Yeah, Elon Musk. So, Elon Musk, he's just the new John McAfee. If you guys were around in 2017, you remember John McAfee and his tweets and the influence he had on the crypto space. It's Elon Musk. It's funny, like there's so many parallels with the previous cycle. We have these incredible, retracements that people said would never happen. We have this crypto influencer that seems to be able to move the market very easily. Last cycle, it was John McAfee. This cycle, it's Elon Musk. We have the exact same FUD coming out, China banning crypto, India banning crypto. That was in 2017. We have the exact same shit happening today. It's It's laughable. It's laughable to see all of this like ridiculousness. Yeah, it's hilarious how similar it is. You know, the cycles of these markets are uncanny. It's ridiculous. Best time to buy alts is when BTC is done. I don't know what you mean by done, because if Bitcoin is done, the crypto market's done. You have no data to support otherwise. Oh, is when Bitcoin is down. Okay. Best time to buy alts is when Bitcoin is down. They're a laggard. So in this shakeout event that we've experienced right now, nobody's buying alts down here. You know, people are buying Bitcoin, but nobody's buying altcoins. So the demand is dependent on Bitcoin moving up. Until Bitcoin moves up, your altcoins aren't going to do anything. And that can be a really nasty trap when you're in the bear market, because, you know, Bitcoin takes time to recover, then it starts to head up, and then it curls over. Meanwhile, your alts are flat, and then they start to recover as the confidence comes in, but then Bitcoin just dumps, and before your alt has recovered at all, it just dumps. This is very typical of what you see in the bear market. So if you're in the bear market, pro tip, yeah, get rid of your altcoins for the most part. I mean, if you're a long-term investor in some of these things, which you're thinking in terms of decades and you don't care losing 95% of the value, be my guest. But to keep your life simple, if we do flip into a bear market, the only asset that you have to look at is Bitcoin, and you're looking for short setups. And it's, you know, you may not like me saying that, but it's the truth. Are we going to probably have a downside movement before Friday, as we always have the futures expiration date? The main futures expiration is in June 25th. And like, futures expiring doesn't really matter I don't know what futures expiration. Yeah, I think I think it's going to be a non-event. We have most of the open interest is gone. So futures expiring, nobody's in a futures contract. I don't think it's going to have any effect. Would there be no alts you would hold during a bear market? I invest in Ethereum and I will hold some Ethereum, but for the most part, no. Because if you look at any chart, if you look at any market cycle, it would be a bad idea. We haven't had a market cycle that is able to convince me that that's ever been a good idea. I would rather just transition into Bitcoin, transition into stable coins, and wait for the retracement. And when the signals come in at the bottom of the bear market, I'll buy Bitcoin. Only at which the market begins to trend to the upside will I begin to think about altcoin exposure. Listen, I love altcoins, okay? I love the projects that are being built, but I also like to have better positions inside of these things. So yeah, it's, yeah, no. No would be my short answer. Invested into Bitcoin, BitTorrent, Voyager token, and Cardano. Limit your YouTube exposure, my friend. Those are a lot of YouTuber shill stuff. Two of those I don't really have a lot of confidence in. EM running, Elon Musk running his own personal pump and dump scheme. I think so. I mean, we can't prove it, but yeah. After this shock to the market, do you think BTC might stay in a horizontal zone for a period? That's what we're looking for. Yeah, we're looking for us to remain range bound. So what I would like to see is the beginning of a reaccumulation after decline. So if we begin to, you know, be range bound from this point, let's say it's kind of in this area, I want to see us, you know, begin to consolidate. This would be ideal if we can consolidate in here, you know, maybe get a little spring and get that price action to the upside. You know, this is going to take a while. This is a potentially 45 days, a month, something like that. But I would like to see us be range bound at this point. And while we're range bound, I think the alts might continue to bleed, just because dominance is going to begin taking over. So we'll have to see how that plays out. There's going to be winners and losers in the altcoin space. So you're really going to need to readjust and strategize and think, did I buy a shit coin? Most of the coins out there are shit. Elon Musk going to jail in 4 years. Going to jail in 4 years confirmed. I don't know if it's confirmed. I doubt that. I doubt that very much. Rich people are very welcome to play. Set aside money every week or month or put it into crypto. I can't tell you what to do with your money, brother. How do you draw those lines on your charts? I use a couple different tools. You know, I've got my horizontal box that I draw. I've got my parallel channel. If you join VIP, I've got a TradingView tutorial. It teaches you everything you need to know about using TradingView, amongst other things too. We've got crypto courses on the Wyckoff method. We've got crypto courses on beginner entries as far as orders. You know, what's the difference between a market order, limit order, stop loss, stop limit buy, all of the different orders to help you kind of trade the market. As well as our custom indicator, you know, the alpha numerics indicator, which damn near fucking called the top on Bitcoin. As soon as we got the bearish signal here, if you were strictly listening to this indicator, when this wave turned red, you exited at $58,000. So if you are interested in getting hands-on and educated on this indicator, we do not sell this indicator without the education to go alongside of it, then join VIP. Would it be a good idea to rotate some alts over to BTC during this next phase? I think trying to make large adjustments to your portfolio, I mean, what I would do is I would let the market decide for me. So let's say I hold some Ethereum, and if Ethereum dumps, I don't want to lose any Bitcoin value. What you do is you go to the Ethereum Bitcoin pair and you set a stop. You set a stop at a certain level, you know, and we'll go with a market stop here. Okay. If Ethereum begins to drop in value against Bitcoin to X amount of Satoshis, I will sell, but I won't sell into cash. I'll sell into Bitcoin. So I'm just letting the market kind of decide for me. It's like, oh, should I buy some Bitcoin? Should I rotate into Bitcoin? Just let the market decide for you. You know, if Bitcoin's range bound and alts keep bleeding, just get a stop loss on your alt pair, on your Bitcoin pair, so that you end up going into Bitcoin. How about the inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour Bitcoin playing out? That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. But you're front running an idea that doesn't exist yet. And you can't do that. Don't front run an idea that doesn't exist yet. Okay. So, you know, what you're referring to is, you know, you have a shoulder, you have a head, but you're counting on a shoulder that doesn't exist yet. Don't do that. Allow the shoulder to print. Once the shoulder prints, now we have an inverse head and shoulders. Because what is the inverse head and shoulders? It is the transition from a downtrend to the transition to an uptrend. Don't overcomplicate it looking for fucking patterns and shit like that. Just look at the trend. We are in a down, lower high, lower low structure. So if I'm looking, you know, high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. We didn't even make a higher low. But if we come down and rest here for our shoulder, this would be our first higher low. If we get a first higher low, then we need our first higher high. Now we have a trend change. That's all an inverse head and shoulders is. That's all a head and shoulders is it's that transition from a downtrend to an uptrend. Currently, we are still in a downtrend. So don't try and front run a shoulder that doesn't exist. I switched to BTC Maxi from having a few alts last week. Lessons learned. Yeah. You know, a lot of traders inside of this space, actually some of the most successful traders that I know only trade Bitcoin. They trade Bitcoin exclusively. In this dump, we actually had one of our Bitcoin traders make 3 Bitcoin on the dump. So, you know, the ability to pivot is really valuable. Listen, I love the altcoins, but I think the thing that I love most about the altcoins is watching the space develop, you know, watching the world of decentralized finance develop. Do I have Aave? No. Do I need Aave to deposit DAI and USDC into a high interest savings account? No. So then why do I need Aave? If I make money on Bitcoin and I cash it out into USDC, I can then take that USDC and I can deposit into Compound, I can deposit into Aave, and I can receive a yield on that, and I don't need any Aave. So let's not lose sight of what we're trying to do here. We're creating a system. You know, you do need people to buy Aave, you need people to buy Uniswap, you need people to buy Compound, but does it have to be you? And do you have to buy all of them? Probably not. Bitcoin SV curve is more beautiful. Yeah, Satoshi's vision, fork of a fork. I don't know. It's only one Bitcoin. What signals phase B? That's a really good why coffee in question. So what signals phase B is from coming out of a downtrend. You know, you have a seller's climax, you have an automatic rally, and then you have a secondary test that holds, and that's phase A, and then everything beyond that point is phase B. So phase A just sets the range. Phase B is just observing the candles beyond phase A. Yeah, let's take a look at this shitcoin, Bitcoin SV. BSV. I don't know. He's like, nobody even sells it. It's such a shitcoin. Who cares? There's only one Bitcoin, man. Yeah. No. You want to get involved with this? Go right ahead. Like, look at this. Like, hopium despair. Hopium despair. Hopium despair. Hopium despair. Hopium despair. Lower low. Broke the trend. Underneath the ice. This is distribution. This is nasty. This is not something you want to get involved with. Fuck this coin. Bitcoin SV. I'm sorry, guys. No. You're not gonna. I'm not a fan. This looks like distribution. We have an up thrust down to a sign of weakness. We got another up thrust down to an LPSY, and you know, we could curl over here. If we fucking curl over here, we're heading down. We're heading down big time. It's clearly not a valuable coin. It's $170. It has the same tokenomics as Bitcoin. Nobody cares. I don't know, man. I really don't. Really don't. Can you go over some basics of volume and what you look for in the chart? Yeah, I can go over, you know, there's several different things that you can look for in volume, but I'll show you one that's kind of nice. And it's these huge volume events. So if we go to Bitcoin on Coinbase, so we got a nice amount of volume here. We didn't get a climactic volume here. Like, look at the COVID shakeout. So, you know, when you see these immense amounts of volume, there's telling you something, and it's usually a reversal. So if it's coming into a downtrend, if it's a climactic selling volume, it's telling you the buyers are stepping in, because volume is both buyers and sellers. That's why my volume is gray, because I'm not going to paint it green or red, because it's gray. It's both. I don't want to be influenced by the bias. But when I'm looking at this, you know, we got a ton of volume here coming into a downtrend. And then what happens next when you get something like this? Uptrend. When's the last time we got high volume? Well, we got high volume here as it came to a climax. What's that telling you? Sellers supply, flooding the market with supply. What happened next? We fell down. What happened here? We capitulated down. High volume event. What happened next? We came up. What happened here? High volume event. We capitulated down. The market was flooded with supply. So if you want to take the very zoomed out approach, you can look. Now what is this? High volume event. And what was it? It was a capitulation down. So, you know, I can't tell you where the exact bottom is, but I think the bottom's close, if not here, based on, you know, just these high volume events of this transition. It didn't occur in the up thrust. It occurred in the buying pressure. It occurred down here on as the support levels were hit. Could you go over the key Wyckoff acronyms for phase A? Just join the free Discord. So I pinned in the section, pinned in the chat, there's a Discord link. It's just stuff I got on Google. That's why it's on the free side. You know, we got the free side and the paid side. The free side, I took all of the Wyckoff stuff that taught me how to learn this method, and I put it in learning materials. So, you know, I can't monetize that. It's not my material. It's all just available on Google. You could just also Google it yourself, but I've put it all in one place. So if you want to go check it out, you can just go into the Discord and check it out there, and you can, you know, learn on your own. But if you want a community, as I do think we're kind of running out of time here, we can help you get up to speed relatively quickly and get bull run ready. And now is a fantastic time to be learning, because nobody's making money in alts. This is the best time to be in my group right now. And I'm not even just like saying that to show my group. I'm a pretty, you know, chill, kind of level-headed guy. Like I'm telling you, like, you have time to learn, go fucking learn. Like, with or without me, just go learn, because now is the time. Now is the time to learn, because you're not distracted. Just do it. Okay, I'm out of time. I lost track of time here, guys. My apologies. I usually end these right at around 1 o'clock. I got to jump into the virtual classroom. That kind of caught me off guard. So yeah, it is what it is. I gotta close it out here, but yeah, if you enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. You know, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be participating in these live streams. And yeah, hit the like, because not only does it show it to other people, but you're telling YouTube that you like it, so it's actually going to notify you. Because sometimes I hear that, you know, people click something and it doesn't actually let them know that it doesn't notify them in time. So if being a participant in this stream is important to you, then do all that bullshit I just told you to do. So without any further ado, thanks for joining in, and please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.